So, does the ideal partner exist? This is a question that maybe in your earlier years of life and beginning years of sexually being active, maybe you've asked yourself this. So let's explore this a little bit. I'm gonna bring you a personal growth perspective to it as an intimacy coach. Hi, this is Liana. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Here, I help you get your orgasmic intimacy. Before we get into today's discussion, I want to encourage you to check out a few of my resources. The first one being Get Your Orgasmic Intimacy ebook. It's available on Kindle. This is a coaching and personal growth tool meant to help you overall, if you want to read it from cover to cover, or specifically with challenges, and you can get to the contents and you can go straight to the topic that is of interest to you. The second resource that I have are my 5 programs. Those are on my platform. Those are programs designed to bring you into a practice and embodied mode. So they focus on cultivating resources and skills important for your intimacy, whether it's around intimate touch, women's practices, or somatic practices overall. So back to our topic now. Does the ideal intimate partner exist? First of all, here are some ways in which one might describe an ideal intimate partner. Looks dreamy, finds you dreamy too, most likely doesn't have any baggage or they've already solved it, has the right age, usually in the younger range, is open to your approach and your requests and your proposals, is in tune with what you like, has the same erotic rhythms as you do, meaning they pretty much get turned on at the same time as you do, whether it's part of the day, month, year, season, and so on, holds their own ground, gives you the right amount of space and also understands you and can also hold space for you whenever you need to. So did you notice anything here? Let me break it to you. It's always about somebody else. It's never about you, right? You never said you could do this. When you're thinking of the ideal partner, you're thinking of somebody else outside of you. How many times do you actually think, how could you do all of those? Not so many, right? Unless you're into personal growth. And if you were to look at yourself and see if you check or not all of the boxes before, then if you were with the ideal partner and maybe you didn't check all of those, they would understand because they're the ideal partner, right? Do you have any idea how draining this is? So it is exhausting. It is not realistic, humanely speaking. And perhaps the ideal part of the ideal partner is not necessarily the best way to describe this. How about a high value partner? How about a resourceful partner? How about a skilled partner? How about somebody who's very human, so also has flaws? Ideal partners, we don't think of flaws. We just look at the upside. But every human being obviously has flaws, and even the best love of your life is gonna step on your freaking toes more times than you might actually want to. And by the way, according to the scale that I said before, if you were to honestly gouge yourself according to that, how would you rate? And how much from those things did you actually try to work on? So let's look at the same erotic rhythms. How much do you, when you're in a relationship with somebody, try to sync in rhythms with your partner? Because there's nobody who's identical. So one person would have to make some effort to sync to the other. Usually it's a dance between the two partners, but no matter what, I'm going to ask you now because we're always looking at the ideal outside of us. How about the ideal inside of us? So how much do we actually work on those ideal, quote unquote, traits? There's also the process not just of idealizing somebody, but then there's also the process of de-idealizing somebody, if I can put this word out here. And I want to mention here a funny discussion that I had earlier this year with a friend that I've known for many years. I was sharing with her how I was sorry that I never had a relationship with somebody that I really cared for. It's somebody that I've known also for many years. And this friend told me, you know, Liana, maybe it's for the best that you didn't have that relationship. Because were you to have it, you would have discovered that that person was not necessarily ideal. And maybe they had many flaws. So usually we de-idealize people when we want to get over somebody, we want to encourage or help support somebody to get over somebody else. Here's the answer that I gave to my friend. So I said like this, you know what I worry? Had I had that relationship, I would have discovered how many freaking flaws I actually have. I don't think that many people would have brought that perspective, but it is the fault of my training because I look at growth. So obviously, what do I look at? I zoom in for faults. And I'm aware that whenever we want somebody like a lot, there's probably room for a lot of growth there. But when we don't have that experience, we kind of miss out on an opportunity to grow. I did have that. Obviously, everybody has that in their lives. And I was sharing, you know, maybe I could actually take myself down from the pedestal also, not just the other person. So idealizing somebody, putting on just this sometimes unrealistic expectations of people, and then de-idealizing somebody, so taking them down from a pedestal in order to navigate a termination of an interaction or rejection, whatever. This is part of the same process. And I would encourage anybody before considering, is somebody ideal? Am I the ideal partner? Does the ideal partner exist? I would look at strengths, weaknesses, and what you can do to focus on your strengths and better manage your weaknesses. Yep, that's what growth does, personal growth, and that's what intimacy growth can actually help you with. So that's my take on it. If you ask me, nobody's ideal. Everybody has strengths and weaknesses, and we can be more strategic about our strengths and our weaknesses. And we can always start with ourselves, because we can't really expect others to do stuff that we don't do. You know, we gotta lead by example, love by example, turn on by example, you know, all that direction. So in hopes this answered, I would love to know your take on idealizing and de-idealizing somebody, if you are ideal or not, personal growth when it comes to partnerships and so on. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.